Good evening, ladies and gentlemen. I should say good afternoon, really. I can always say the wrong blimmin' thing when it comes to this. But welcome back to LCR. We are here for their fourth season, of course. We're here for round number 6 at the Canadian Grand Prix. And joining me in the combots today, my name, of course, is Jack, F1XL Nut Head. Joining me in the combots, actually, is a racer who, unfortunately, has had some wheel problems, had to sit out of this one, but instead joins me in the box. I am joined by We1ty. How you doing, my friend?
Hello everyone, and hello to you as well. Yeah, I'm doing very well. Unfortunately, can't race, which is a bit frustrating, but not a lot you can do about these things when it comes to the wheel. But and if I raced on the controller, I'd be a liability, so I definitely won't be doing that. So I'll just instead of watching the broadcast from home, I thought I'd join in and help along with the comms today. And we're looking forward to Canada for LCR today.
Indeed we are. I am very much excited to be back here again, of course, and I'm excited to have someone in the combots. Last few races I've been a bit on my own. It's a bit lonely in here, so it's nice to have someone come join me for the ride that is LCR. On board currently with the first man who's interestingly gone AI for starters, but now he's come back. The man who came up from Pro Division, as I will continue to mention every single time we're in this league. Mr. Expert Ullman, the Haas driver, who set some good impressions, set some good lap times, and set some decent results. Of course, with his teammate Fens, who's interesting not here at the moment. Hopefully he might join in during practice, as Cushmania, the Renault driver, has just jumped in. But I'm on board with him. He has got about 10 laps of fuel in, currently in lean mixed into there. Plenty of anger, probably out of the drivers who do get dive bombed, but excitement for us in the combots. I think you'd agree. Now, while we're on board with Almond, we should talk about the championship for now, and it is currently the Renault driver, Williams driver, sorry, that was butchered, that was. The Williams driver, TY Leopard, who currently leads the championship. Explain to us a bit more about how we're looking in terms of the rest of the drivers, who to look out for potentially in terms of battles.
Well, for starters, TY Leopard has got a huge lead. It's 91 points to Fred's to 65. That's just a huge lead for a start. Looking down the rest of the field, though, it is really close. For example, Amazed in third. Jolly is just 1 point behind him in fourth. Cushmania 3 points behind him in fifth. And there's, interestingly, between third and 10th, we've only got 16 points separating those 8 drivers. So it is really close at the mid pack, and even one position can make a difference at this stage in the championship. Yeah, brilliant start to the championship for Leopard, and he's going to hope to continue at Canada today.
Indeed he will, a man who has definitely set fire to the LCR in Season 4, of course. The champion, you've got to say, last time out. Definitely favourite to keep your eye on in terms of doing well, and we've certainly proven that today. Interesting, no easy off Fred stuff for the moment. It's just sitting like Charlie smacked the ball there at the final corner. He's up to line, he'll be the first to start the laps. He kicks the timing charts off 13.9 for him on the soft compound tyres, with around about 10 laps of fuel. So standard. We've got a yellow flag in sector 1. It's Expert Almond. He's had a moment. The Haas driver, who backed off on his first lap. I believe he might have invalidated, so that would explain why he did that. What's happening there, We1ty? I had a moment.
Sorry, I was just watching Almond completely do a burnout out of that. Out of turn 2. I couldn't quite believe he held on to it, but the early times are trickling in now. Theo Verstappen going to the top of the timesheets with a 13.7 on the soft tyres. In quali, the very fastest guys we may even see a 1 minute 9 later, but we'll have to see. That will be probably a pole lap if you were to get into the 9s, but mainly in the low 10s, mid 10s for most of these drivers in qualifying later.
Indeed. So Drizzle's Revenge has gone fastest as TY Leopard just came across the line on a super soft with a full tank's worth of fuel and done a 13.6 there, quicker than Verstappen on 11 laps. Now these two had a very interesting battle last time out. Of course, Verstappen's debut in LCR at the Spanish Grand Prix. And he set a very good impression by starting off well, battling with TY Leopard, but in the end time penalties cost him, and ESR Amazed snuck in and nicked that P2 and very nearly had the win, but Leopard pulling away in that second stint late on, managed to secure the victory. Nicely wrapped up in a nice tight bow. No one's just out on the ultra softs yet. We've got LCR Apex in the pits, but he's put on the ultra softs. Not out yet. But Judge's Revenge did his lap on about 4 laps of fuel, so around about what you probably expect to see, obviously a full load in at 34 laps, so clearly just getting used to how the car feels at the start of the Grand Prix, which is quite crucial, of course, because you know you get so used to qualifying, you get used to the 2 and set to 3. So there's a Force India there. It's just an absolute moment behind. That was AOR Charlie, because he just came out of the final corner. He's got barely in front wing. Yellow flag in sector 3 again. Someone's probably had a moment. I don't know who it is. There's
Apex had a moment, but he's recovered. So Apex had a spin at turn 6, but he's recovered and going again. So I don't know what the cause of the second one was, but no damage for Apex. He rejoins.
Yeah, of course, that is a rather slippery section, that turn 6 and 7, especially on the exit of 7. Very easy to sort of spin up your tyres because you sort of go from such a high speed down to such a low speed. It's very sort of tricky and very greasy through that turn 6. So watch out for the guys potentially on heavy amounts of fuel spinning it there.
Ooh.
Very easy to lose the back end. Oh, we just had someone in a moment.
Yeah, Charlie kissed the wall, but he's fine. He's
all good. And I think he's had the fixed front wing glitch. Actually, no, he has topped it there at turn 10.
he's had an even bigger moment there.
yeah. Fortunately, no contact with the wall though. Still gets away with it. You've got to say he's very close to him and visualised at the moment. Despite the different tyres, that's 300 separating, and that is remarkably close for the moment. Only for P6, but still close. Still 20 minutes to go in this practice session. There's plenty of time for the guys to potentially come in, put in different tyres, put in different amounts of fuel. But interestingly, obviously, everyone prefers to sort of go for their quali runs near the end, sort of let the track be laid down, and that's sort of what people do on these, with so much amount of fuel in. They'll go out, put loads of fuel in, just lay down the rubber a little bit and just get used to the feeling of the track, because of course it's a long old qualifying and race ahead. Still 20 minutes of this, then an extra 12 minutes of qualifying, and then finally 45 minutes for the race. So it's not like as if they're short on time, so they've got plenty of time and use that to get used to it. Especially the next part, we'll drop it out of turn number 9. That could have ended in tears because he sort of nearly had a bit of contact with the wall. Now it's turn 10 and he's got grass on his tyres. It's not gone at all well for him. As you've seen visualised there, just go up to P2 the 13.218. I just say P2 down, like P4. McLaren driver. Just 200s off of Leopard, but Leopard's still got 30 laps of fuel in. Visualise only 3. So could this be potential sandbagging from the McLaren? What do you think, Welty?
Laps of fuel in. That's like as many laps as the race, nearly. As he nearly loses it into the wall. And he's also not using DRS at all, so I think he may be doing a race sim at the moment, Leopard, but it's quite impressive pace there. Quite impressive pace for a race sim, to be honest. Low 13s, really fast for what he's got. With that amount of fuel on board, he's looking in great shape already.
Indeed, he is. I've got a little thing going on here with Jolly and Joseph's Revenge. Jolly, I believe, is on an out lap at the moment, just about to start a lap, but Joseph's Revenge, I think, is actually on one. And so just go for the final few corners. Potentially a little bit of holding up from him, as Jolly absolutely butchered the last part there. Joseph's Revenge got to line, and it is not an improvement, but he was on a lap, so maybe potentially could have done a bit more to get out of the way. LCR Apex, by the way, did set a lap on them themselves, so quality amount of fuel, 13.777. Someone is usually near the back, unfortunately, Apex, but he does try his best and always finishes the race no matter what, except last time out when he lagged out.
Oh.
Unfortunately, toward the start, yellow flag. What have we had there?
Leopard dropped it out of turn 7. We were talking about how greasy and difficult that corner is on the traction, and he's just given us a great example. Even the championship leader struggling with turn 7.
Indeed, it seems to me as if he is not having the best of times. Hopefully, it doesn't look like he's got any damage though. Don't think he made a contact with a wall, so it might be all good just to carry on for the moment. Still a little bit more wear on the tyres, but a sign that even anyone can do it. So, if Leopard can do it, anyone can potentially do it for the race time. So, like you say, could be dangerous.
Yeah, and hopefully it won't. Well, I commentated on a race incidentally around this exact track on Friday, and we didn't actually see anyone drop it, and it was raining for half the race, so maybe it won't be a factor, as it wasn't really on Friday, but even in the wet, but it could be a factor today. We'll have to wait and see whether it will be.
Indeed, we will have to wait and see. Just on Verstappen, he's about a tenth and a half up here on the soft tyres. He's up to the line. He does improve by losing validator.
Oh, he's done it again!
Oh no, he hasn't. Oh my goodness me. Oh.
Leffers dropped it again. Exactly the same way as he did the previous lap. So
for the Williams driver, second time in a row, definitely a sign that that's an area he needs to find a little bit of improvement on, because the second time in a row he's dropped it. So definitely a sign that could be a potential weak spot for Leopard. You know, having to go a bit slower through that, maybe, which might allow other people to surely pounce on, especially on lap 1. You know, expect to see Leopard near the front, and that might be a way of opportunity. He nearly spins it again out of turn 10. I just quickly went on board with him there. He just spun up the rear tyres like crazy. Just as he's about to start the Casino Straight, it is called, just before the Wall of Champions course, turns 13 and 14. But I believe he might just carry on for the moment. Nope, he dives it in. So he's thought that's enough for me. So he's got enough information, maybe potentially come in. And maybe potentially go on the soft tyres, or I'm not really too sure. Verstappen does the same. The Mercedes driver, of course, only his second race in LCR, but already has a name for himself with that incredible battle he did last time out, of course. Now, shall we do a little bit of plug-in? I think we should. Yesterday afternoon, we did indeed kick off in LCR the Forza Championship, which was commentated on beautifully by, oh my goodness me, Jolly has just absolutely binned it.
Wow.
I was on board with Jolly, thinking this would be a good on-board person to keep on board with, and then coming out of turn 10, he has just absolutely walloped it in the wall. He is just, I think he meant it on purpose. I don't think he fancied any more practice. But, oh my goodness me, that was a collision. He was airborne. The lad was airborne.
Like Kubica all those years ago.
Pretty much, but I mean, that was a pretty big wallop in the wall. As Charlie just goes faster, his teammate then goes faster with 12.707, 900ths quicker than Hayden on 7 laps. So compared to Hayden's 3, that's a good time for the Toro. So we haven't really seen too much of this season. Hopefully he can change that today and set a good impression for the Canadian Grand Prix. But going back to the plug, we'll try it again. So last night, yesterday afternoon really, because of course LCR starts earlier in the day, we did kick off the Road to Le Mans series on Forza Motorsport, commentated on over on YouTube with all the race streams, even including some lovely clips that they have the brilliantness to record, which means you get some clips of me commentating, which is not really the best thing for your ears, but you know, always good to go ahead and check it out. But yeah, that's the plug done. Welty, and I don't know about you, but I will probably be going to tune in to the rest of the race because I'm even aware of who won, as is everyone else now, so I've just spoiled it.
Charlie's just in other news. Charlie's just gone fastest again, or improved on his time rather, on the super softs. He sets a 12.3 and goes to the top, as I say, by 4 tenths. But Hayden's running 3 times the fuel almost of Charlie, so. These are the things about practice. We don't really get a realistic gauge on whether people are fast or not, because we do know the fuel loads, but it's hard to make any actually somewhere. I don't know where that is.
That looks to be just at turn 9, or up towards 10. Yeah, there is a long one down towards the hairpin. But yeah, Charlie having a bit of a moment. That was visualised, by the way. Did go P2 there, with 12.436. So the first to get within just under a tenth off of him. He's nearly dropped out of turn 6. Ended up locking up just to sort of make sure that his car just continued sliding along and didn't end up spinning out. And the McLaren having a small moment, that was sort of on the exit. Some people might try and take it in a higher gear than what you probably expect to see, given the speeds in which they do take it in, because of course, like we say, it is incredibly slippery. Interesting to note that some people take it in 3rd. Hell, I sometimes even take it in 4th, especially with a heavy load of fuel, just so I don't spin up. Sorry, what you got?
Sorry. Yeah, I was just going to say that personally I use fourth as well. But, you know, if your car's understeering a bit, just use third to get the nose in a little bit, and then short shift to fourth out of 7, just to be extra sure that you're going to make it round the corner. Verstappen's just gone half a tenth behind Charlie in second place of the timesheets, and Drizzt's Revenge has just dropped it out of turn 2 on the traction. He looks
and
like
Leopard's hit him.
Oh dear! Wow.
So Leopard's come out the pits. He's come flying out, and he's just he spun it where Drizzt's Revenge was just going slowly, just to be considerate and let people through, and he just nudged the back of him. I think Leopard might have picked up just a tiny bit of front wing damage on that front left.
Yeah.
But a small moment for him. But yeah, no, like you were saying, yeah, Verstappen did improve, Drizzt's Revenge also did. Almond actually comes to the line, 12.5 for him, it was invalidated, but interesting lean mixture there at the end of the lap. So a bit of sandbagging potentially going on from the driver. I hope we do get some more in for the race at the moment, well, because we've only got 11, which is unusual for LCR.
Yeah. We do have Cushmania waiting, but he hasn't actually got a car yet for whatever reason. I just think he just doesn't want to practice or something. He's not grabbed the car for now, but I believe we will have 12 for the start at least. And we've still got 10 minutes for people to join if they're a bit late or for whatever reason. Yeah, not the greatest turnout, but hopefully you only need 2 cars to have a motor race, so hopefully we see a good race anyway.
Indeed you do. Expert Almond's had a moment there, just where Jolly's been it, and there's actually, he just hit Jolly's brake there, just as he went past. As there goes Hayden just now going past him. F1 Ben, the Red Bull driver, not really had too much to cheer about so far in practice, but he's just gone up to P4 with 12.614, and a bit of action for him, a bit of a moment. But yeah, Almond having a massive moment there, out of the corner, very nearly lost it down the back straight, like he's weaving like there's no tomorrow. He will still continue to weave and go flying into the pits. Oh my goodness me. That was heart in your mouth stuff, that was.
Wow, yeah. That was, yeah, daring driving already. Yeah, F1 Ben, going back to your point about F1 Ben, not the great start to the season. Neither of us Red Bulls have, really. We've only got like 10 points or something in the whole Constructors' Championship. So it's not been the greatest start ever, and we're last in the Constructors, but never mind.
Yeah, it's always next week. That's what I always said, there's always next week. You never know what might happen, but of course, yeah, not been a too good start for the Red Bulls, but U-Man's doing something out there at the moment, only P4 in practice, but still something, because we had a yellow flag there. Oh, it's TOR Verstappen, as Charlie's just gone even quicker there, 7 tenths quicker than Verstappen now, 11.662. About 5 laps of fuel on ultra softs, so clear sign that he's on about a quali fuel, but Verstappen having another moment similar to what I believe, who had a moment out of turn 9? Someone did, and I can't quite remember who it was.
It was, oh no, I can't remember either. I can't remember.
I think it was Leopard. No, Leopard I remember on turn 7.
Leopard was 7, yeah.
Was it AOR Charlie?
I think Charlie has had one. I think,
This is bad.
somebody else definitely has, and I can't remember who it is.
Yeah, so yeah, but anyway, the second person had a moment out of turn 9, so someone that potentially people could be struggling there in terms of the traction zone on exit, so maybe a sign for the race. Oh, F1 Ben, World of Champions. Now, that's a promising sign for you, LT. World of Champions, your teammate. Could be a good sign.
Yep. Well, if we do manage to get some sort of championship by the end of this season, then I'll be truly amazed. Apex has smashed the wall coming out of turn 7, that is, as well. And Charlie's gone to the top of the timesheets with a low 11. He's now well clear of the field, but only guy to actually set a lap on low fuel and ultra softs, although Visualize is coming towards the line now and he's starting a lap, so we'll have a look in about a minute's time to what he can do on the ultras.
Yeah, definitely 6 minutes to go in the session. There's Leopard still out on the soft, and he's just dropped it out of turn 14. Ooh, this is proving to be a real test for some of these drivers at the moment. They're just struggling with these traction zones like crazy. Could be a sign, could be. We'll have to wait and see what the weather, of course, because we don't know what the weather is, so whether we'll have some rain in quali or something, and that could make it even worse for some of these guys.
Oh dear, oh no, never mind. Sorry, that was lag. On my screen he went completely off the track at turn 2, but he walked back on, so never mind.
Yeah, never mind, that's the word we'll use. We're on board with Visualize at the moment. It's just come out of turn 10 up towards turns 13 and 14. Of course, there are a few kinks in this, which actually count as corners, which are a bit unusual for me. Yellow flag sector 3. It's Expert Almond again at the exit of turn 10. So he's not enjoying that, clearly. He's clearly not liking that braking zone. He might be locking up just a bit too much. Going to the runoff a little bit. Anyway, Visualize up to 11.9. Still 9 tenths off of Charlie. So just a sign of how good his lap was. Because the Toro Rosso is 9 tenths clear. What's happened there?
Expert Almond has done the most bizarre pit entry I've ever seen in my life. That was... He like went half the ways to do the corner and then kind of decided he didn't want to do the corner anymore and kind of did the pit entry not correctly, but he's in the pit lane now and that's probably him done for the session until quali now.
5 minutes to go, still time for him to get out. Not as if we are going to run out of time for him. Still time for him to put on a set of ultra softs he'd like to, go on a race field and see what he can do. Because of course, now you got to say, I say this every single time, Welty, but it is that same thing every single time. Because these guys do go out on quali runs, they do see what they can do, because they haven't got the advantage of mixed fuel, maximum fuel mixture, so they can't quite see what they exactly managed to do. As you've just seen, Hayden just set 11.4 on the ultras on the quali fuel. But they haven't quite got the same amount of pace, so expect to see some lower lap times than what they are putting in. So of course, Charlie on 11.0 with that exact scenario of only rich fuel, that's a promising sign for him that he can even get into the 9s, like you said, in qualifying.
Yeah, you're right. That's actually a thought I hadn't considered before, because I was sat there like Charlie's set fastest lap is fastest by a mile, and I'm like, well, it's still not the best time I've ever seen. But now you mention that, that does all make sense now. And that time from Charlie does actually look very good against everyone else now. But Hayden's looks like he's on another flying lap. He's just coming into the hairpin now, exiting the hairpin, and down the casino straight. We'll see what he can do on his second ultra soft lap.
Indeed we can. Expect to hit around about 203 miles an hour. He flies into the pits. Nope, he is done. Nope, he doesn't fancy a lap. We'll go on board just the Avenger. I'm still on board with him, the Ferrari driver. Just behind, he clips the wall of champions a little bit there on the exit of turn 14. But he was up to the line, and it's a 12.4 for him. He does jump up in a P6, beats P5, sorry, not P6, beats F1 Ben there. As X1 has made his way back out, so he's not done for the moment. Probably expect to see Leopard come in if he's going to do what his usual routine is soon, and put on a set of the ultras. He has got time, but only just, really. Meanwhile, his TOR compadre, TOR Verstappen, is out just now, coming through turns 4 and 5 up towards 6. And he is just set a 20.6 first sector. Not too bad from him. Still 4 tenths off of Visualize at the moment. Just seen a lap time come in from someone. Who was that? Did someone set a lap or not? I'm not really too sure. Leopard stays out, so he's actually not going for any laps. So it's 12.9 there. Beats Jolly by
Leopard.
600s.
It was Leopard who sort of set a lap, I think. But anyway, I've just received the forecast for the race in the quali, and it's saying that it's going to be a full wet quali and a full dry race.
Ooh, so that could make some interesting strategies from the guys. Because I know from experience, if you could start on the harder tyres, you can play it safe at the start. You could potentially do a super soft or ultra soft if you're willing to make your supers last that long. As we've Verstappen did set 11.5 but was invalidated, so that would have put in P2, but unfortunately not. But that's going to create some interesting scenarios for, of course, this wet track. So a full wet qualifying. I'm glad we do have benefits of the forecast. Thank you very much for that, Welty, because that would have maybe shocked me a little bit when I saw that. But a chance for some, maybe potentially some difference in the field, of course, heading into the race. You know, it's very easy to make a mistake in the wet, and when you've only got a few runs, it's vital to make sure you hit every single apex. Make sure you take it as careful as possible and get the cleanest lap you can, because even some of the guys who are normally further near the back, even guys like F1 Ben, Drizz's Revenge, we can expect to see them a bit further up, especially when there's shortened grid. We'll now have 13, so we've had Jigglypuff jump in, so there's a chance for some of these guys to really set a name for themselves and prove that, you know, they aren't just here to be at the back.
Yep, and a quick thank you to Apex for feeding me that forecast. But yeah, what it also do is shake up the grid, because and also which setup do you go for? Do you go for a wet setup or do you go for a dry setup? Personally, I go for a dry one, because you're going to do a lot more laps in the race than you are in the qualifying session. However, you don't want to be starting from the back row, and this wet qualifying will shake up the grid. And we're not sure. Oh my word! Apex. Sorry, that's Expert Almond slapped the wall. But yeah, as I was saying, it will probably shake up the grid and make the first few laps of the race even more interesting.
Indeed it will. It will definitely make it so it's an opportunity for some guys to really go out there and shuffle up the pack a bit. You know, that's going to be bad news for someone like Leopard, of course. We've just seen how quick it's... Oh! We have AOR Charlie, the Toronto driver, at the moment at turn 7, and wallops the inside wall. So no improvement from him in quali as we are on the final lap. We've just seen LER Lives, something we haven't seen for all session long, didn't set a single lap, and now just going to P4 in the Ferrari, 11.97. Well, not too bad for the yellow flag in sector 2. I believe that might probably be MR Charlie again. Yep, he has now retired, so no more of him. Expert Almond's walloped the Wall of Champions. So that's not gone towards Verstappen pits. Yep, second time now. He's not enjoying that section at all. So Leopard's still going to finish the session on them softs. Jigglypuff as well is up to the line. 12.4 for him. His beat goes up to P7. He's on the softs, but on a very minimal amount of fuel. So just wanted to see what lap time we could do. 2 cars left to go. Leopard and Hayden. Leopard up first on the softs. Skips through that chicane beautifully. Gets a bit of oversteer on the exit. Other than that, we're all good. Oh, Hayden! Oh my goodness me! A massive wallop in the wall, a spin at turn 14, and he's now going to reverse up to the line, and that will do him for practice. So it's Charlie on top by 8 tenths in the end, but Hayden looking as if he could have had some more time to find there. We'll just have a quick look at the race director, see if we can get the sector times up. And he was up on his second sector by 6 tenths, so a sign that a lap time could have improved, but he didn't validate it as well. So not gone at all well, but it's ALR Charlie on top, Welty, for practice.
Yeah, it's a very impressive time too. He's got a comfortable margin there, 7 tenths, but we also don't know how much sandbagging these guys have been doing, particularly Leopard on the soft tyres. It's interesting. It's strange. We were talking just before the session at how he usually does a quali run at the end, but he hasn't on this occasion, and we have not got any idea what his pace is actually like. But let's see what quali brings for us now. Probably a lot of action because of the weather.
Indeed, that could have been a sign why he didn't do a quali run, because he knew that it was going to be full wet. Always a sign. But anyway, let's enjoy the intro. It's intermediate, not full wet for the moment, but it is absolutely hammering down with 12 of the best that LCR have to offer, ready to grace the Canadian Grand Prix circuit. And I don't know about you, LT, but it's a sign that things are going to get interesting with this wet weather.
Yeah, we've talked about how it may shake up the grid and what difficulties it poses to the guys in terms of setup and so on, and also It's actually intermediate, so not quite full wet, but it's got difficult conditions nevertheless. Whether it's going to get worse or better is the question that we all have on our lips right now. Because if it gets better, then you're going to want to be the last person across the line at the end. If it's going to get worse, then you want to be expert Almond right now, who's first out on track.
Indeed, it's going to be interesting to see what happens as to whether, you know, it does dry up or if it does. Of course, even the smallest amount of change in the weather can cause a massive difference in lap times in conditions like these, so it's vital to make sure that you get out when the track is at its best. And for the moment, it doesn't look at all like its best. Of course, Almond is currently, of course, setting the line for everyone else. Of course, as the track goes on, of course, with the water being dispersed by all the cars with these intermediate tyres, which I believe, correct me if I'm wrong, Almond, but can disperse around about 40 litres of fuel. They were believed to a statistic out, but I think that's for the full wet. But anyway, they can disperse a lot of...
I wouldn't know.
I know that they can disperse a lot of water, which does make for the dry groove line. Of course, famously, you've got to say, as I did mention it in practice, of course, the Canadian Grand Prix in 2011 in real life, where, of course, they did have that drying line, and then in the end, that was good enough for the dry tyres. Sebastian Vettel, of course, last lap got off that dry line, spun it, and in the end, Jenson Button went on to grab that famous last to first victory. That will be remembered for the ages, you've got to say. But let's see if anyone could do that today. But of course, we do have a full dry race ahead of us, so strategies will be, of course, different. 2 laps, you can expect to see potentially 2 or even 3 laps from these guys on their runs. Almond's got around about enough fuel to do 3 laps. So just really getting his strategy sliding like there is no tomorrow. And like you said in practice, it's interesting to see if these guys will go for a wet setup to favour the track position, or if they'll go for a dry setup and favour for the race. And now, me personally, like you said, I would prefer to do a dry setup, because he's nearly got it wrong out of turn 7 there. He's on the grass, just a little bit, but he gets away with it for now. Of course, still learning the track, of course, very different to what these guys had in the practice session. But even then, they were still proving it to be slippery, so imagine what's going to be like for them in qualifying. He's just now come up towards turn number 10, and he's struggling. He locked up here and went wide twice, so I can guarantee he's probably being very cautious into turn 10 this time. I'm sure he doesn't. Look at the slider, even in 5th gear, at 140 miles an hour, and he's still sliding the back end. Just the proof of how difficult these wet conditions are on these Formula 1 cars. He's up to the final chicane, and he's hitting around about 200 miles, so a sign that he has got maybe a little bit less more downforce favouring. Oh, he's skipped across and got it 5th gear and sort of parked it at the middle part. He's up to the line, he'll set the pace, 23.4 for him. I'm on board with LCR Liv. There is a car ahead of him though. As Expert Almond, of course, is fastest. LCR Charlie, the man who had topped practice by so much, 22.4, sorry, massive lap time from him. Just under a second quicker than Almond. It's a fantastic lap for him nevertheless. LCR Apex, Williams driver, got the Red Bull of F1 Ben just behind him. Of course, your teammate you'll be cheering him on. LCR Apex P2 for now. F1 Ben fastest. Good news for you, he's just gone fastest by half a second. As Leopard only managed to 23.2, 2 on Verstappen 21.3, so he tops the times by 6 tenths there. Fantastic lap for the Mercedes. Only his 2nd race in LCR. Do not forget, we did see improvement there. Drizzt's Revenge in the Ferrari, 23.395. P6 for now, beats Almond by a tenth. Visualise up to the line. He goes up and just now starting one, so that's maybe look like a bit of a tit. Jigglypuff now coming through the final chicane now. He looks all good. Does the Renault driver spinning up a little bit out of turn 14. He is up to the line though, and it's going to be a 21.8 for him. P2, fantastic lap for the Renault. His teammates with Cushmania, who for some reason is not in. We should have seen 13, because of course we should have seen Cushmania, but he is not in the race, which is a shame. Hopefully we can resolve that and get him in, starting from the back for the race. But at the moment, not in practice, because of course he did join. But Welty, early signs for Verstappen setting the pace by half a second.
Yes,
no, he's
not. Oh, never mind. What this suggests to me is that the red is not. Of course, 12 cars going around on the track. It's going to move a lot of water at a time. So, and the amount of rain is not counteracting that. So the conditions are actually getting better. Verstappen's dropped it out of the last corner. He's just going to go in the pit lane. But yeah, the track, it suggests to me that the track is getting drier. We'll have to wait and see though. And it looks like only Charlie's improved on his lap. Oh, Leopard, big crash in turn 5.
championship leader has a moment, and he's still behind his teammate. Now, no offence to Apex, but that's not really expected at the moment. But he is behind him by half a second, and Leopard has just had a moment out of turn 5. There's Almond parking it at turn 6. I'm not sure if he's had a moment as well, but he's just... And he's dropped it again out of turn 6. So the Haas driver not doing very well at the moment. He needs to face the right way to make sure he's on the track and going legitly. Let's see what happens.
Hayden.
Oh, Hayden's now had a moment. Everyone's having moments. Crikey.
Yeah, while Leopard was turning around there, Hayden probably had an absolute heart attack because he nearly smashed into the back of him through turn 5. He was going full pelt, and Leopard was virtually stopped. So that would have been a massive crash, but Hayden has skipped across the chicane on this lap, and he's running out of fuel, so he's going to come into the pits on this lap, presumably. Yes, he does. Ben has just gone into 3rd place, and Verstappen has left, so that suggests to me that there's a disconnection there.
Yeah, of course. Now, he's very interested in qualifying at the moment. A lot of shake-up of the fields, you know. AOR Charlie top in the time sheet's not had a good start to the season. F1 Ben, your teammate, P3 at the minute. Vinbite's just gone P4, 21.7 for him. Jigglypuff, someone who's just not had the luck this season, 21.8, currently P5. LCR Apex is P6. Ooh. It's a miracle at the moment. It is incredible. Let's hope this continues. Jolly Dickot's line did set a lap, but put it invalidated. It was a 21.8, which would have put him P6 for now, ahead of LCR Apex. But a massive shake-up of the field, and definitely a sign. I mean, even if the championship leader can make mistakes like that, definitely a sign that the guys are going to struggle, because out of turn 5 he did have a moment. So it's a sign that not everybody's human in this league, and of course they've got a long way ahead of him. He needs to set a decent lap on, he'll be starting way down at P8 for the moment. Still yet to drop down. 4 minutes left in the session, plenty of time for people to drop in, have a cup of tea and come back out on track. I'm not joking, of course they'll be refueling, thinking about getting that final run out. As Justin Jolly crawled through the final chicane. He's up to the line though. It doesn't look like as if it's going to be an okay lap. It is a 21.4. P4 for now, so good lap from him. Beats F1 Ben by 2 tenths and not too far off Verstappen. Hopefully we can get Verstappen back in to the lobby before he runs out of time, because of course once qualifying ends there is no comeback from him. Everyone will get bumped up a position. We only have 11 for the start, which is a shame. Hopefully we can get back in. The man who's just set nothing short of brilliant impressions, Jigglypuff, meanwhile the Renault driver, he's up to the line again. 21.4 for him, so he did manage to find time on his previous lap. Of course, he's only a 10th off of AOR Charlie, with 21.1, so fantastic job for the Renault for the time being. And just a sign of how much the rain can shake up the field. Welty.
Yes, it's definitely shaking up the field. You're talking about some great drives or great laps from people at the top, but look at the bottom. Leopard, for a start, the championship leader, and Hayden, who we used to see in a bit further up as well. So Hayden hasn't even set a lap yet. He had 3 attempts and invalidated every one of them. So, you know, it's difficult conditions, and it's difficult to stay within the white lines, even if Jolly getting really sideways, comes towards the line and improves again, and that's very close now at the front. Three drivers separated by just 2 tenths.
That is rather incredible at the moment at the top of the chart. But Jolly, he's only a fraction off of Charlie, but he hasn't got a lot of time. 2 Toro Rossos, currently a Toro Rosso 1-2 at this moment in time. Who'd have thought anyone would be saying that? But it looks like it could be on the cards. As interesting, Jolly is interesting standard mixture, not using rich. It's got about a lap's fuel. He is on a lap. He's 6 thousandths off his first sector. So he's still on another lap, but of course he hasn't got enough time to come back in the pit, so this will probably be it for the Taurus. He hasn't got enough fuel, so this will be his final lap. Can he find time? That will be crucial for him. He's up towards turn 10, and he's a 10th down on his time, so unless he can find a miracle final sector, then he will not be able to improve, and will have to sit there and wait, see what everyone else can do before determining his own fate, really. He's got F1 Bennett just ahead of him, but he shouldn't be hindered at all by him because he is miles ahead. and just about to start a lap on his own. He's now up to the final chicane. He lips the two apexes as best he can. He's now got the run up to the line. Now here comes the wait. What can he do? It's a 21.8. It is fastest. He does find loads of time there. Almost 2 tenths in the final sector. 20.865 and beats his teammate for now. But has he done enough?
Oh!
Yellow flag. What was that
Almond has
for?
had a big crash. Almond has had a big crash at turn 6. That's his session done. I'll just quickly explain before everything gets really exciting. The reason he was using lean through there was just for better traction, so the engine isn't getting sped up abnormally, so he can get a better run out the corners. But and it was quite effective for him there. Somebody else was off, and I didn't see who that was. It is. No, I can't actually see a car off, so I've no idea what that yellow flag was for. But anyway, No, that's the wrong corner. Oh, who's that?
Liv's just gone P5, 21.3.
Yes.
Hayden also went P8, 21.9. Of course, X1 does retire. He'll start from the back. So not been a good day at all for the Haas driver. Not what you would expect, because Charlie's not
coming towards the line.
fastest. 20.747. Championship leader out of nowhere. Goes top of the charts. And has a potential opportunity here to line up on pole position, but the question is who can match him. Jigglypuff current on a lap, he's coming out of turn number 9. Blair Lives also on a lap himself. Visualize, he's coming up to the final 3 corners now, as well as LCR Apex, his teammate. He's currently P10. He's got a long way off to Hayden, but what can he do? He's up to the line. He does improve, and he massively improves, just about beats Hayden, but what can Hayden do in response? We'll keep an eye on that. Visualize as well, he's up to the line. He goes nowhere. No improvement from him. We've got Jigglypuff as well, just coming up for the final few corners. He's my guy to really keep an eye on in terms of challenger, because of course a fantastic first lap. He clips the wall though. That might be a hindrance for him. He's up to the line. 20.9. Doesn't improve his position, does improve his time. I might just secure it. Indeed it does, as Hayden goes P5 with 21.349. Beats Verstappen there by exactly 100th. LCR Lives retires just before the end of the session, and his teammate as well is not going to improve. It's all up to T.Y. Leopard now, and he is cruising, so that will do qualifying. And it's the championship leader who comes out of nowhere on pole position, Welty.
Yeah, it just shows that he's just proven to everyone why he is the championship leader, really, because that, you know, when he needs to, just pulls out the bag, and he's gone from last to first in qualifying. But something else that I'd like to mention, the top 10 separated by about a second as well. So it's an incredibly tight grid, even though we've only got 12 people. I don't know if we will see Verstappen back into this race though, because I don't see him I haven't seen him rejoin, so that could be a problem for him. We'll find out in the race, I guess.
Indeed, I mean, everyone will get bumped up a position from 7th to 12th, which means we'll see Lives up into 6th, which is a shame, of course, because, you know, he's shown great promise here in LCR and has a good chance for high results, but sadly it doesn't look like he's back in. Instead, Lewis Hamilton 6th. But here is your qualifying rundown for you. It is championship leader on pole position with the Toro Rosso of Jolly alongside him. AOR Charlie, the other Toro Rosso, behind 2nd and 3rd for them, so they might try and work together to get a good result. Jigglypuff, the Renault driver, getting P4, and a huge surprise, really. Hayden P5, Lewis Hamilton P6, Aiko I'm a bit too of Verstappen, we won't see him, so LCR Lives is P6, F1 Ben P7, Visualize P8, LCR Apex P9, Drizzle Suspension P10, and lastly Expert Almond rounds off the field in P11. So, you know, there's still a chance for anyone to get points here, so everyone's got to fancy their own chance. Even if they have a mistake at turn 1, there's still a long race ahead. With this short of a field, it's a good chance for anyone to grab points and a huge chance for some mix-ups in the field. But at the front, it's pretty predictable with Leopard on pole, but he's got Jolly just alongside him, and Jolly is someone who will have 100% go at him at the start. And Leopard, as Fredster continues to mention to me, someone who, if hindered, could potentially slip up. So watch out going into turn 1 on this short run. But here we go.
Yeah, the start's going to be incredibly important here. It's a short run. Unfortunately for guys down the back, they'll want a longer run.
There's two cars.
Make up there.
Okay, Almond's just bunny hopped.
Right, yeah.
That was a bit of a glitch. Tyre choice. Only one person on the Ultra Softs at the moment. LCR Lives. Oh no, now 2. F1 Ben making the change, but we have had the timer start, and all of the front guys fancying the super softs for the moment. So could that be the correct strategy? That's the question. Starting on the super softs, playing it defensive, or will anyone... I mean, if I was someone like Jolly, I'd go on the ultra softs to go offensive at the start, but who knows what's going to happen. We get ready for them 5 lights, Welty. This is the point where I get excited. I get a bit smiley, and everyone else prepares as here we go. We've got the formation lap up first.
Oh, I was so ready for that then.
See, I know it was.
I was so ready, and then the formation lap came on. Wow.
So while we do have the formation lap, as we just in LCR Apex, his T1 left his teammates absolutely butchered turn 1 and come out side by side with him. They managed to start P9 alongside with his teammates. So I mean, that'd be nice for them to see a Williams 1-2. But while we quickly have the chance, let's talk about tyres. So everyone on the ultra softs, except for LER Lives, who's been disqualified, F1 Ben and the other ultra soft on the Drizzle's Revenge. As the 2 Ferraris pits have come together in the formation lap. That's not a good sign, but at least they're getting out of the way on the lap that doesn't really matter to them. But interesting touch was, what could we expect to see out of the guys in terms of strategies then if they're starting in the ultra softs? No, super softs, sorry.
Well, if they're super softs, then I would expect them to try and stretch it all the way to like 50. Sorry, even worse than that, like 20 to 25. And then get on the ultra softs to the end, have a mad dash at the end, see if they can make up their positions. For people like Livs, Ben, and Drizzle's Revenge, they're going on the aggressive. They're making the strategy play early, which is they're trying to make positions up at the start. So, and I can see this working out for Livs, to be honest. I think he's got the pace to get up onto the podium positions, kind of, and we'll see if that does actually work out. But everyone is just gridding up now, and we're ready for those 5 red lights.
Indeed, we are. So the formation lap is finished. We're all ready to go, and the drivers are ready as we build up towards 3 lights. We've got 2, 3, 4, 5 are on now, and it is lights out and away we go. It looks to be a decent start on the front row by the parent. Bit of contact in the background though. Jolly meanwhile slots in behind Leopard towards turn 1. Jigglypuff around the outside of ER Charlie. He gets the move done as well in the Ferrari as well. Let's try down the inside. Meanwhile, Charlie bends it around the outside for now as Jolly's side by side with Leopard for the lead up to turn 4. He goes slots in behind meanwhile as LCR Live still trying to go on the offensive against Charlie's a poor start. Jigglypuff on the inside of Jolly out of turn 4 into 5. He's going to try it down inside towards 6. He might just about manage it. He does. Brakes later than Jolly, but the switchback might be on for Jolly. Meanwhile, Lives is still side by side with the Torosso. Torosso's both on action here. But it's a good start for Leopard. Jigglypuff a fantastic start. He's having a second off the line, but he's on the defensive against Jolly in the turn 9. There's contact between the 2, and both the Torossos are out. And that could be race crucial for everyone as Liv slides his way up into P2, Hayden P3 as well, and now down inside goes Almond as well. He's just made contact with the back of X-Bomb, made contact with the back of Visualize, and Hayden as well. Fantastic start for them, but huge contact on lap 1, Welty.
Yeah, they're really bad. I don't know, I think that was the Toros's fault, to be honest. Went in a bit too deep into turn number 8, sorry. But what a move from Jigglypuff going into turn 6. Great dive bomb, and clean dive bomb as well. Made the move stick. Hayden's getting under attack. He's just lost 2 positions on that straight there. He had a terrible chicane. But 4 drivers in. Jolly, Jigglypuff, Ben, and AOR Charlie all for front wing damage. And Charlie's going to have to stack behind his teammate as well, adding to his misery at the start of this race.
Indeed, that was not a good start at all for the Torosso. They already had a bad start anyway. Jolly did try the inside of Leopard into turn number 4, but it just wasn't looking like it was going to be on for him. But in the end, he had to back out, and Jigglypuff took full advantage. Meanwhile, Hayden looked on his way back, of course, but fantastic start for the lead ahead of him. Drizzle's Revenge climbed 6th position, started P10. Sanzo Visualize, he was down in P8. A lot of guys behind Leopard now. He took full advantage of the start. LCR Lives as well, the Ferrari driver, up into P2. Currently P2 and 4 for the 2 Ferraris. A fantastic job for them off the line. But Leopard still a 3-second advantage over Lives, and has a fantastic chance to get away as he usually does in the LCR. Not really been struggled too much. Hayden looking feisty on the back of the other Ferrari, though. Drizzle's Revenge as Leopard doesn't he set the fast lap on them super softs. 13.375 for him, and looking promising early on. But such a shame for them guys who did pit. Ben going on to the super softs as well as Charlie, but Jigglypuff and Jolly going to try and make it last on the softs. Do you think that's the right call from them, Welty?
Well, I think it's they're making the best of a bad situation right now, because they can't really do anything else. The soft tyres are really the last saving grace for them, and they're really battling with themselves now over the final few points positions. They're going to have to battle with each other and hope for guys ahead to make mistakes and have crashes, so that they can gain points. But at the moment, those ultra sophomores, the two Ferraris mainly, what a job from them off the line. They've done a great job, done exactly what I said, and they've made use of their tyres early on, and now they've got to hang on for the rest of this stint when the super softs come into their own, and then they can go from there on the super softs at the end of the race and see where they end up. But a podium is definitely on for both of these Ferraris now.
Indeed, the time penalty was already coming in. Jigglypuff already picked up one. X-Barman now picks up his first one. That's definitely, it is a track that's easy to corner cut, so if you can get away with it and, you know, not get any corner cut penalties, you're guaranteed to be somewhere decent in this Grand Prix. But for the moment, two people already win corner cut penalties lane. One down in P10, of course, Jigglypuff after that poor start. The other, X-Barman, who's got LCR about 2 seconds behind him. But it's been a very dramatic, very cagey start, but not for the leader. He has had a nice peaceful start and is almost now 4 seconds clear on lap number 4 from second place man LER Lives. And like I say, is in a fantastic position to do well for the time being. The only guy at Apex that just got past Ullman there, as I think he might have hit the wall at turn 7.
I don't see how that would have happened, because that's the wrong side. That's the wrong side of front wing, or unless he lost it onto the inside wall, which is bizarre. But yeah, he's lost them from wing. He's having a terrible time. He's locked up, gone well off there into the hairpin. Not a good start for Expert Almond in this race. Oh no, Charlie's left.
Charlie's left the session. That's not gone well for him. Hopefully we can get him back in. Of course, he's only running P11, but still plenty of race left to be done. Meanwhile, Jigglypuff is all over the back of Jolly here into turn number 10. Jolly fends the dive bomb on the inside. Bit of late change in position as Expert Almond does pit. That means F1 Ben will jump in. Oh, Jigglypuff getting a much better exit out of turn number 10. These two have already come together once. What about the second time as well towards the hair? Final chicane. Jolly goes to the offensive, moving like crazy. So they come towards the final chicane. He squeezes him off, and now he's going to try and fend it. Jigglypuff forced a bump across the curbs. But Jolly just about fending it. But that was some kamikaze stuff from him. And I'm sure Jigglypuff and the Renault will not appreciate that one bit. Second time today they've already come to blows. As Hayden did pick up a 3-second time put in the meanwhile. And I will try and stick on board with this battle for P4. This is for the moment between Joseph Fench and Hayden. Of course, that battle going on between Jolly and Jigglypuff, yes, it's in Fulham, but this one is for much higher points and potential chance for some of these guys to bump up into the championship. Of course, Joseph Fench visualised Lives and Hayden, not really guys who've had the brilliant start to the championships, but good chance here for some good points. They come towards the final chicane. Hayden is looking feisty over the back of that Ferrari. Through the final chicane they come, skipped beautifully for now, and it still remains the same as Lives is now 5 seconds behind TOR Leopard. It is going great for the super soft runner, the man who's just had a pretty quiet start given the fact of all what's happened behind him. But Welty, any sign of any further battling between these two at the moment? In fact, it is. It's happened again. Jolly! Oh my goodness me! Oh, they've come together!
Oh no! Oh no!
That's a huge crash. They come towards the final chicane. Jolly, no damage. Jigglypuff, full damage. Allman's banned it. Allman's binned it at the Wall of Champions. Oh my goodness me! What happened there?
I didn't see what happened to Almond, but he just looked like he lost the car completely sideways through the last chicane, and he's left now. Yeah, he just looked like he lost it, and then one of his wheels just popped off. But going back to that Jolly incident, I could see it coming really from last lap, where he moved under brakes into the hairpin, which is really a no-no, and we've seen in the past that can cause really bad accidents, and he nearly caused one of the hairpin by moving almost 45 degrees onto the track in the hairpin, and then swipes right on the straight when oh my, yeah, he's retired intentionally there, I think, and I think swipes Jigglypuff completely into the wall, and that, you know, it's I really think he's only got himself to blame there, because you can't move it on the straight more than once or in reaction to the guy behind, otherwise it causes crashes like that, and it's hampered his race again, and even though he's already been in an accident. But yeah, I think his driving has been below par today, to be honest.
It has. He looked to be promising heading into qualifying, but it's just not gone at all well for him, and he's not had a good day in terms of his driving. But always next week, as I do say, so I'm sure the Toro Rosso driver will be looking forward to the next week. Now, his teammate is still in the race, but he's still an AI. Hopefully, like I say, we can get him back in as soon as possible, unless he's actually just rage quit, which means we are down to 8 in the Grand Prix already. And there's still some signs here. 2 battles going on here at once. LCR lives against Visualize for P2 and the other Ferrari. Still got Hayden over the back of him. And of course, what lap do you reckon these Ultrasoft guys will consider pitting? Of course, for their expected soft tyres, Welty, because of course they're going to struggle soon.
Yeah, well, they're going to start struggling way before they're going to have to pit. If they're going to make this strategy work,
Drizz's dropped it!
Oh no!
Drizz's Avengers dropped it out of turn 7, which he's still got full front wing. He's gone away with it. This time he's LCR, but it's got a P5. But Drizz's Avengers had a moment, and that could have cost him massively. That now allows Hayden with an open gap towards the back of Visualize, and now means that we could see a freeway scrap for P2. But just the tiniest little drop of traction out of turn 7 has cost him dearly, and that could be race critical for him.
Yep.
Well,
yeah,
it is.
It's yeah, well, it is. But yeah, as I was saying before that, but Drizz's lost it into the wall. I'd expect it lap 15, because you're going to want to go as long as you can without getting a puncture, and then hopefully you can go from there in the super soft stint. And if you've actually done better than expected, then you can actually like open the taps a bit and start pushing a bit more. However, if you've underestimated the tyre wear, then you can just rein it back a bit and save the tyres. But they should manage the one stop from here. It's whether they choose the super softs or the softs to get to the end. If they choose the soft tyres, then they may even come in before that lap 12, lap 13 kind of range. So it will be interesting to see when these guys come in, and it will be crucial in terms of where the super soft runners are and when they are in relation to each other at the end.
Of course, it's going to take a lot of defending for them to make sure they make this work. Of course, these soft runners, but of course, if he does pit, does dive it in as soon as possible, because he can get the undercut. As meanwhile, Visualize looking feisty there. He had a look on the inside there at the final chicane. He's actually spooked him on exit now, and Visualize has got the much better exit course. DRS as well on the run towards turn number 1. Visualize is down the inside here for P2. This is down the inside. He goes, Liv fends it beautifully round the outside with late braking stuff, and might just about try and get a better exit out of 2 up towards turn number 4. Turn number 3, sorry, but he's not able to do it for now, and slots in behind. But the first sign that Visualize knocking on the door of Livs and saying, yep, I'm here, be ready for some intense battling, Welty.
Yeah, he did that absolutely perfectly. He just spooked Livs into the entry of the corner, as you say, and then absolutely slingshotted out of the corner. Great exit. Got alongside, and then he almost put the controller down and said, yeah, I've got this position, but Livs was having none of it. He just held it around the outside beautifully, and he holds on to second. But as you say, a lot of defending is still to come for Livs, because he's going to be on the worst tyre for most of this race from now on.
Indeed, if he wants to hold on to that P2, but now I will quickly say 8 seconds is now the gap to TOR left, and he's probably enjoying a nice cup of tea at the moment because of how far ahead he is. It is just incredible at the moment. And with this battling going on, it's going to add the game even further ahead for now. So maybe potentially expect to see, unfortunately, that'll mean a little less camera time for him. So he won't see as much of himself on the stream when he looks back, I'm sure. But we can surely say that he is dominating at the moment and has a huge chance to get a lead. But we've seen him drop it before, both in practice and qualifying. So it's not over for the driver yet. He's still got to keep it on the track. Keep all four wheels pointing in the right direction, otherwise these guys like LCR Lives, Visualize and Hayden will take full advantage in this potential freeway scrap. I mean, last lap we did see Visualize have a bit of a moment here out of turn number 9. He did survive it this time, maybe just learned from his mistakes. But yeah, early stages looks like domination from Leopard.
Yep. Meanwhile, Hayden is looking ominous in the rearview mirror of Visualize. He really wants to get past Lives because the worst thing possible right now is for him to have to attack and defend at the same time. He's going to go up the inside going into the final chicane. Surely Lives has to yield, and he does. He's going to get a good exit off the corner. Can he do anything going into turn 1? He doesn't have DRS though. However, he looks like he's going to have another go. Up the inside, looks at it, goes for it, side by side.
What a move back! No, he fended it. Harassing 2, turn 4 they come. Turn 3, sorry, and he's just about fended it. Oh, I thought he had it. That's why. I'm so sorry for interrupting. I thought that's why he had it. I thought Lives have somehow managed to fend that. Beautiful battling though. Absolutely majestic. Yeah. Respect for both of them. That's good to see because of course we've seen some dirty battling today with Jigglypuff and Jolly, but some lovely respectful battling. Brilliant motor racing between them two. And it was quite incredible. Apologies for interrupting there, because I was just bedazzled.
Yeah, it was a good attempt, but Visualize was equal to it, and he couldn't. It was great under brakes, but he's actually stuck with him better than I thought he would through the middle sector in particular, and he's not falling off as much as originally anticipated. However, he's not really close enough to have a go. Good run through the last chicane though. He's still not really close enough, so he's just going to have to stick behind for another lap, and possibly we might have to watch Visualize run away with that P2.
Of course, it's going to be crucial to make sure Hayden now gets past. Now it's his turn. Visualize has done it. Now Hayden's got to do it, and of course Lives will not yield as much. Of course, it's still for P3 at the moment as they come towards turn number 6 though. Hayden just looks so scary in the background of that Ferrari. I'm sure that his pants are probably not red at the moment. He has a moment out of turn 7 and now Hayden's round the outside towards turn number 8. He might just about do it. He brakes later and just about holds it, but watch for the swing shot out of the number 9 and he just about fends it for now. Will Lives try a lunge in towards turn 10? He has every single right to. He's not going to. He slots in behind for now, and Hayden getting the move done. Just clean and sweep, and now he's got the opportunity to have a go at Visualize. He's still in the DRS, so a chance for him to even take P2 out of all of this. So he's done the move clean and efficient, which is what he needed, Welty.
They've really missed an opportunity there out of turn 10. He got a terrible exit, really. To be fair to him, his tyres are probably on fire right now with the amount of tyre wear they've got, but still, he's really didn't get a great exit and could have really pulled back past Hayden again, given how close he was, but these two look like they're going to run away. The crucial thing now for Lives, he's got to stay close enough so that he can capitalise on his new tyres when he comes in, maybe at the end of this lap or the next lap. We'll see if he can capitalise on those tyres. Meanwhile, Drizzle's Revenge has beaten it into the pit lane. He's on to the Super Softs. He's going to have to stretch those a long, long way to get to the end, though.
Indeed he has, but I mean as well, also LCR Apex also did dive it in. He put on the soft tyre, so we can expect to see him go to the end. Same with your teammate, of course, F1 Ben. He just come out on the soft, about 1.7 seconds behind this little battle we could have going on here between Drizzle and LCR Apex. Of course, crucial for Drizzle to get past Apex, because this is probably going to be a 2-stop for him, because he's got so long to make them super soft last, unless he's just going to save throughout the entire stint, which, I mean, is probably one of the probably not the best option, because of course it's such a short pit lane around the Canadian Grand Prix that he has full advantage of. His Visualize been on a 3-second time penalty there. Now that could be crucial for him. As Lives does dive it in, so the other Ferrari is now in. Will it be soft tyres or super soft for him? It's going to be a set of... He's got 5 seconds to stop. Go!
He got one for overtaking. I think it was overtaking off track. I saw it at the bottom of the screen, but the Toro Rossos and Renaults were exploding, so I decided not to mention it until a bit later on. But yeah, apparently corner cut and overtake for Lives. Hayden, great exit sideways though, and he's now side by side with Visualize.
He is up towards turn number 8. He's going to try it down the inside, and he looks like he might have just about had it. That sort of came out of nowhere on me, but watch for the dive bomb in towards turn number 10. Visualize. Trying to get the better exit out of turn number 9. He might just about look. He doesn't. He fends it. And in the end, it's going to be all about who can get the best exit out of turn number 10 up towards the final chicane. Of course, Visualize got the advantage of DRS. This will be crucial for him to get the better exit out of the chicane as well. This will truly mean can he defend it as Leopard does dive it in. On lap number 15, dives it into the pits. That'll be soft tyres for him. Visualize goes to the inside though of the chicane. He's going to try it, and he might have just about done it. They stick side by side throughout turn number 14 and 13. That is ridiculous stuff. And Visualize gets the move done for now. They come towards turn number 1, and he's done it. Unbelievable stuff from the pair of them. Not even to just get the move done, but to make it work side by side through turn 13 and 14. It's just ridiculous stuff. And he's just about managed it. Fantastic driving. Visualize in the net P2. Hayden now down to P3 again. And that was incredible stuff.
Neither of them really knew what yield meant through the last chicane. And they went side by side with that through the chicane without making contact somehow. While that was going on, Apex has just lost 2 positions to Ben, and Drizzt's revenge went up the inside, and Ben capitalised on it. Ben looks like he has the pace over Drizzt's right now, and Apex is falling away from them both in 7th place at the moment. But yeah, the battle between those two, Visualize and Hayden, was quite incredible. They were both a bit like I don't think they were really very committed into the corner because they went very slowly side by side. But I feel like this strategy from Leopard and now Visualize as well is a bit strange because they could go on the ultras, but however they're going on the softs instead. So not really sure about that strategy myself, but we'll see if that ends up working out for those guys.
Of course, it'll be interesting to see how exactly if it does work out for them. I mean, it's a question now, what will Hayden do? Will he stay out on them supers and just make them last to the ultras? Because of course it is a very, very, very safe strategy to go supers to softs. Like a very, very safe. It means you don't have to worry about tyre wear at all throughout the entire race. You've just got to literally just keep your head down and just focus on pushing. But it's also an interesting one because, you know, you could do that aggressive strategy of supers to ultras. But they're not fancying it. Meanwhile, Leopard is definitely close up to the back of Hayden. The question is, can Hayden defend it? Oh, Ben's forced across the run-off on turn 4. What's happened to him there? Did he just lock up and have a moment? Because it doesn't look like he made contact.
Bit of entry oversteer, I think. I don't know if he crit the grass. I wasn't really at the right camera angle to see. But he just got really loose on the entry and he couldn't make the corner. So instead of crashing, he decided to take the run-off and lose a bit of time. However, no harm, no foul, and meanwhile, Leopard is catching up to Hayden. I know they're on different strategies, and Hayden's yet to stop, but this is still crucial that Leopard doesn't have any trouble here, and then if he doesn't, then he's probably got this race in the bag.
Indeed, he does. It's 14 seconds to the back of Visualize, so it's not as if he hasn't got time to get the move done nice and cleanly. Now, in terms of penalties, I believe I just saw a second one there for Hayden. Leopard still does not even have one. It's still only one for Visualize, so it is actually advantage Visualize in their little scrap. Lives yet to have one to his name. Drizzt's Revenge, not one. He did have a stop-go, though. 3-time penalties for your teammate F1 Ben. No penalties for Apex. That's quite nice for him. Jigglypuff with 1. And of course, that will do us for all the runners for the moment. So that could come crucial for them later on as Jigglypuff has pit again. So can that man today get any worse? I'm not too sure. But Leopard, meanwhile, coming up towards the final chicane, looking feisty here, looking for the better exit out of the final chicane. He just about might have done enough because he has got minus DRS and right towards turn 1. Will he try a lunge into turn 1? He does try it down the inside, and Hayden not going to fend it too much, thinking more about his race and just slots in behind, thinking smart, and still got maybe potentially a few more laps. What lap do you reckon? Well, could we see him come in to pot on the Ultra Softs?
I don't really know. It depends how long he's going to take his Ultras off. We saw Livs and Drizzt take them around 12 to 14 laps. So if you do the math backwards, then it's about lap 21, 22. Ben's just picked up his 4th penalty of the race. He's going to have to be careful not to get disqualified. Never mind hold on that position against Apex. But yeah, Hayden's looking. He was really smart there. That's exactly what he needed to do. Just let Leopard go. You're not in the same race, and you're not on the same strategy. So just let him through, and then make up, and then maybe jump Visualize in the pit lane, or however Visualize is going to have a big undercut here, given Hayden's going to have a lot of laps out on those old super soft tyres.
Indeed, they are. So it's going to be interesting to see where he comes out. It's currently 13 seconds clear of Visualize. And then he's got another 5 to his teammate, of course, who actually went on to a set of super softs. No, sorry, not his teammate. Sorry, that was the wrong brother. The wrong person then. But interesting to note that Livs, Drizzt Revenge, so both the Ferraris going on to a set of the super softs, which means they're pretty much committing to a 2-stop. Today. F1 Ben did come in for his 2nd stop because he's got a set of softs, so we'd probably expect to see him go to the end. But them two still with a stop to go, with around about 18 seconds clear of Ben is Livs, and Drizzt Revenge further 13, so probably expect to see him come out behind Apex. So they've got a push on that last stint to make sure they get past those 2 soft runners. But of course Hayden, it should probably come out around about where Livs is.
Yep. I don't know whether they'll have to make 2 stops or not. Drizzt did come in a bit early for the 1 stop, really, so maybe he'll be on the 2 stop. But I think Livs can stretch this to the end. 21 laps on the super soft tyres isn't totally out of the realms of possibility. So if he's good on his tyres, then yeah, he can make this work. However, he may end up with either a puncture on the last lap or just losing so much pace that it didn't end up being worth it in the end. All these things we'll have to wait and find out by the end of the race.
Indeed we will. It'll be interesting to see what happens in terms of these tyre choices. Yellow flag sector 3. I believe someone had a moment at the Wall of Champions. Oh, it's Drizzt Revenge.
Oh!
The driver has had a moment and he's into the wall. He's got front wing damage. Actually, that has spooked F1 Ben a little bit, and Apex is now all over the back of him. So could that come to be quite a nice little thing for the Williams driver? It doesn't look as if he is for the moment, but Drizzt Revenge now, that's pretty much guaranteed him a 2-stop because he's got to come in for that front wing damage, but he's still got to do a full lap. That will mean Jigglypuff will be into P7, so it just proves what happens when you stay into the lobby. He's just at 12.3, fastest lap of the Grand Prix. Still chilling at 8, so he's still on for 4 points, and potentially now even 6 points with, 6 points with Drizzt Revenge. Hayden dives it in now. So 14 laps, like you said, it's not completely out of the question, so he can do it. Will it be ultra softer? That's the question. It should be. As Apex just got past F1 Ben there.
Made a mistake, sorry. Yes, he made a mistake in turn 8. Skipped across the chicane, and yeah, he's lost up to Apex, who moves into 5th place. Hayden is going to come out smack bang in the middle of Visualize and Livs. So what can he do on these ultra soft tyres? He's definitely going to catch up to Visualize. He's probably going to pass him. Can he stay ahead of him though when his tyres get old towards the end of the stint?
Of course, that'll be the question. It'll be really the answer to our question is this the right call? Drizzt Revenge has dived it in. So that means Jigglypuff will be promoted. That's a shame, really. Just one little mistake out into Wall of Champions. Oh, Jigglypuff nearly skips over the second part of the chicane and really nearly went for a trip for himself into the wall. He gets away with it just about. It is ultra softs and a front wing change for the Ferrari. I don't know. He might catch to the back of Jigglypuff is he starts putting rapid laps. Probably will set the fastest lap though, unless Hayden can beat him to it. That's the question. But 3 seconds is the gap between Visualize and Hayden. And well, let's put it this way: Visualize is not going to let him through easy at all. So it should be a very interesting fight for P2. Lives, we might expect to see come in, maybe not. Potentially 20, around about 12 laps to go. So if he was going to pit, this would probably be his window to make that stop. But for now, he's got almost a pit stop clear of Apex. If he did pit, he's still got enough time to pull the ultra and just absolutely bomb it. But at the same time, playing it safe, just sit on them super softs and just go to the end, really. But this battle for P5 for the moment looks to be the closest one between LCR Apex and Ben, which hasn't really... Well, it's sort of been a bit on and off, because it seems to be the same case that, you know, Ben makes a mistake, and then Apex gets past, and then Apex will get back past him again, and then it just made contact there a little bit at turn number 2. That was scary. Due to reduced damage, thankfully, I don't think there's any damage to either car. And Ben's gone to the inside. That was an audacious move at turn number 3. That was almost a slap in the face to him. I did say maybe he did pick up damage. Maybe he's a bit aggressive, a bit angry behind that wheel as he comes through turn number 7 now. He's going to get a better exit, and again he makes contact. He's pushing Apex out of turn number 7 up towards 8. He now does go to the inside, and he should have the move done on the inside. He does. Apex backs off. Now trying to get the best out of turn number 9. He might just about try it, but no, Apex runs wide and not able to do so. But Ben up into P5, but a bit of angry driving from him. Maybe a sign that he's not happy at all. Whether he did pick up damage, it does maybe just a tiny bit on that front left. But I want him to take a note about his fuel. He is almost 0.9 of a lap under fueled, and Apex is now looking feisty on the back of him up towards the final chicane, and he dives it in. Now, one thing we should mention, as he did dive it in for the pits, going up back towards his battle for P3, Hayden is now on his 3rd penalty, and of course he's already got to get past Visualize and then create a gap, because Visualize has only got 1 penalty.
He's not catching as much as I thought he would either at the moment. I thought he would have been pretty much there by now. He really needs to get there quickly if he's going to get that gap, as you say. But how is the commitment for Ben, driving 2 wheels on the grass, not a hint of a lift, getting past through turn number 8, unfortunately overshot the corner and has had to pit again now, but he's come out right behind Jigglypuff, so showing that if you carry on you can still pick up great points, and this is good points for Jigglypuff right now. 6th position after carrying on, and it really does show why you should carry on after an accident like that, after 2 accidents indeed in Jigglypuff's case. It shows why you should carry on, because you can still have a fun race and even get some points out of it as well.
Indeed, you do. I mean, it's got to be said, you know, Visualize driving the best he can, but there's only so much he can do, of course, because he's on 2 worse compounds. I think I've got Ben, we're on the back of Jigglypuff, he's 6. But it's definitely put Visualize in the driving seat with all these penalties. Of course, if he can just defend as best he can until eventually to the point where he just cannot keep Hayden behind him. He doesn't want to do it for suicidal, but try and defend as best he can. That will waste as much time as he probably needs, so then he can keep the gap and make sure that he claims that P2 for now. And he's 16 seconds behind TOR Leopard now. What can you really say about that? Except that's just a sign of someone who's ready to win a championship, really.
Yeah.
He looks promising. He looks feisty. F1 Ben still looks feisty in the back of Jigglypuff as well. These two, I believe, have equal amount of penalties. That's another one for F1 Ben. And Jigglypuff just kissed the wall out of turn number 9 up towards turn 10. Neither of these had a pleasant race. Side by side they go. Renault Power against Renault Power, round the outside, Ultra Softs against Super Softs, and it looks like Ben might get the better exit, and he just about does, and will have the DRS, and that will be crucial for him to just make sure he maintains that position on the run down towards turn 1. He's a bit too far behind the but puts it in lead, lets Ben go, but that was some rather crazy stuff between these two. Not the best race. That's another time penalty for Ben. That's 2 in 1 lap. He's got to be careful because he will get disqualified. Hayden's now around the outside. turn number 10. This could be crucial for him. Round the outside he goes. Visualise does his best to defend. 2 lengths from Hayden, but the switchback is so superior out of turn 10 on the runner towards the 13 and 14 chicane. He is to the inside, and he's going to do his best at picking up another penalty. But here we go. Hayden on the inside, Visualise on the outside. Can he get the move done? He's in Rich, doing his best on the inside, and he might have done it. He just about does, but the better exit, of course, because Visualise went so much more cautious into the chicane. Might be just about enough for him to defend it on the inside. He's going to try it. No, he slots in behind. Respect between the two. But Hayden now has to run and sprint and do everything he can to create a gap to Visualise before them Ultrasofts start to go off. So he's got enough of a gap to hold that P2, but a fantastic bit of dueling again between them two. Mega respect.
Yeah, great battling. Hayden's traction all day has been absolutely fantastic. He created a similar move through turn 7, just on the traction, just had better traction, even on the same tyre compound. And you could say that the difference was made in the tyre compound there, but he has been great on the traction all day. Interesting to note, Hayden has 1 lap of fuel extra, and Visualise does not have that luxury. Only 0.2 of a lap is over fuel, so he cannot use much Rich at all. Hayden can use a lot of Rich in comparison, so it's going to be a very interesting battle in that respect, as well as with the penalties. Can Hayden stretch a sufficient gap to keep that place? He's actually got 2 warnings currently on the current penalty he's on. They've got the same amount of penalties. Hayden's got 1 more penalty. However, he's on 2 warnings.
Indeed, he does. He needs to be careful. Does Hayden? Because of course, 1 more penalty, and that will surely be a bit of a coffin, really, for him. But of course, both these drivers have drove phenomenally. You got to say. Both of them have been absolutely incredible. They've shown respect between them, as well as with Livs as well. You know, all of them showing each other what they can do and having a nice battle. It's what you like to see in League Racing, a nice friendly battle between them. Of course, you know, always a bit of aggression, always showing getting your elbows out, but you don't want too much. You know, you don't want a Jigglypuff and Jolly. You want a nice calm battle, which we have seen. But Livs is still out on them Supersofts, so he's looking like as if he is going to do that strategy. Of Ultrasofts to Supersofts. You've got to say fair play to the man for making it last. Oh, Jiggly, meanwhile on the back of F1 Ben.
Yep.
Still there.
Yeah, coming out of turn 7, he was looking into turn 6, but you're never really going to make that move under brakes anyway. It's not really a big enough braking zone. However, he's definitely close enough for either a move here into the hairpin, if he fancies a bit of a dive. No, he doesn't. So his next opportunity is the chicane. Can he get a good exit? It's decent. So he may have a look coming down the casino straight now into the final chicane. Yeah, it's definitely close enough. Closing. Ben defends. Round the outside, surely not! Oh no!
Oh, they're both forced to Joe across. And Jiggly actually takes like the line that he's supposed to take to not get a penalty. Ben forced to the outside there. Ultimately, this is not going to matter at all, because look at the amounts of fuel that Ben is under. He's over a lap and a half. So he's going to run out around about halfway through lap 33. That's not very good for halfway through lap 34, sorry. As he's hit the wall out of turn number 4. And now Jigglypuff tries to run the outside of turn number 5. And Orthodox is contact in the wall. Huge crash between the two. And you just see F1 skidding across and hits the wall on the exit of turn number 6. That was huge! A humongous crash! That was quite extraordinary what we just witnessed. But Jiggly gets the move done. Not the cleanest way to do it, but he's got past.
He's got past somehow. I've literally no idea how he's come out of that completely unscathed, and Ben's in the wall with no car left. He is actually continuing, but it really was a really big crash, and he's going to carry on though. He's going to pit, presumably try and go for the fastest lap, I would imagine. Even though he's well under fuel, he will just accept that he's going to come last, I think.
Yeah, and fights at stop because I've been in the pit lane. Can that man... Oh, Leopard pits!
Oh!
He's going to come out behind Hayden.
Ben's been disqualified.
Ben's been disqualified from the session. Oh my goodness.
Oh dear.
Now we have 7 runners left. But Hayden now comes around. Leopard has now just been X'd out of his pit box. Hayden will come out ahead. What about Visualize? This could make things interesting. We've got around about 5 laps to go. And if I was Leopard, I would be doubting myself right now because now he's got to get past Hayden. Hayden's going to defend with everything he's got to make sure he claims what is now going to be the race. There's another penalty. He's not going to win anyway because of penalties, but he could allow, you know, a bit of fighting, a little bit of action here for the race lead out of nowhere. I was just ready to stick on with the Leopard for the final few laps as all the gaps can sort of pretty much maintain it. I'm ready to sort of just watch an old ending with just Leopard just crossing the line. But now he's pit, and now we've got some action. We've ran about just under 4 laps, just over 4 laps to go. Lisbon's have another 3-second time, but I don't think might be his first, so he's done well. Credit to anyone who doesn't get any penalties for the moment, as Hayden runs a little bit wide out of turn number 10, and now Leopard is all over back, and of course, fresh Ultra Softs for him. Hayden with around about 10 lap old Ultra Softs, so his will be incredibly more worn, both for the DRS because of AOR Charlie. So that is going to be a little bit of help for Hayden to cut towards the chicane. And it'd still be Hayden ahead, but will Leopard try the better exit. He broke early to sort of allow it, and he does indeed get the much better exit. On the run up towards turn number 1, he might try it as Hayden goes defensive. He does his best, but Leopard forces his way down the inside. But Hayden fends him around the outside for now and squeezes him almost onto the grass. But Hayden just about does all he needs to do to run towards turn number 3. Leopard going to still try it on the outside as Hayden forced to still stay defensive. Through 4 they come, and he try and slingshot out towards turn number 5. Round turn 5 they come, up towards turn number 6. Leopard's down the inside of him for the race lead, and he might just about do it through turn 7. No, Hayden fends it, and he just about forces him out, and Hayden still holds on to it on the road towards turn number 8. Can he try a move here into turn 8? Leopard looks at it, slots in behind. That might have spooked Hayden though from the run towards turn number 10. And he might have done. Hayden forced to slide a little bit on the run towards turn 10. They're still side by side. If we Leopard with the DRS, keep that in mind through turn 10. Late braking stuff from Leopard. And he's done it for now. But has he on the exit? He might have just about held it. Here we go. Through towards now Leopard with a DRS. That should surely be that. But what a fantastic duel between the two. That's surely the sparkle, just that extra bit to add to a near brilliant Canadian Grand Prix. That has been the tip of the iceberg. That has been the top of the cake, the icing on the cake. That's the saying. What a battle, Welty.
Yeah, it was a great battle, but however, Hayden, it really was not what Hayden needed, because Hayden, that's set him back by a lap or 2 now on his gap, trying to stretch his gap to Visualize. He might still just do it, however, if his tyres really fall off at the end, then Visualize could end up picking up the 2nd place. It's going to be super close, almost a time trial session towards the end of this race between these two. But yeah, what a great battle. Hayden tried to do the smart thing, try and get an undercut on Leopard. Didn't quite work out. The tyre difference between them is too different, but how they didn't make more contact, I'll never know. Great respect between the two of them. And yeah, not to end up in a huge crash, because that could have been easily both of them off the road and Visualize won. So yeah, well done to both of them for keeping that so clean.
Indeed, it was fantastic from the pair of them, as you could tell by my voice. That was quite something. Penultimate lap has been enabled now with TOR Leopard looking like as if he's got the race. It's just now about to lap Joseph Benji. He's interestingly gone AI. He's not left the session. He's just AI. So clearly just parking it till the end of the Grand Prix. It does look like he might have a battle further back between Jigglypuff and Apex. Of course, Apex has no penalties to his name. As Visualize gets another. Now that could have just brought Hayden that P2 that he's been searching for. It's the cut through turn 3 and 4, which he has made. But is that enough? That's the question. Hayden now with 4 penalties to his name. Visualize with 3. So that means he has to be within 3 seconds of him now. So that might be it for him. LCR Lives only 1 penalty. but that means he's still within 6 seconds of Hayden. Visualise, sorry, and he's not quite close enough. So it looks like as if it might be curtains for him, but that might mean as well that Hayden might just have this wrapped up for him. That P2 might be his, and the Force India will be claiming the 18 points, with the Williams surely claiming full 25 for the moment. And unfortunately only 15 for McLaren, probably could have got more, but that will do them nicely as well. You got to say, fair play to the likes of LCR Apex, LCR Lives, fair play to Jigglypuff as well, because he stuck out this entire race. He was way down in pretty much last place, but he's still in, he's still continuing on. He's going to look like he's going to come in with P6. Penalties wise, he's not got 30 seconds of penalty, so he should be clear with that. But he is quite chance to Apex, so it could be a last lap battle. But I'm on board with the leader, because what can you say for this man? What's happened?
Leopard's on the field a little bit, so he's minor panic from me there. I think he'll be okay, but he's running lead the whole time. Also, Hayden, I know it's the last lap, and there's only the chicane to go, really. However, if he picks up one penalty, then he's not going to pick up second place. Currently, he's got tenths of a margin. I think he's locked them from wing as well there. But anyway, Leopard is coming towards the final chicane now to take another victory.
Indeed he is. What can you say about this man? Surely he's looking like as if he's going to call himself a back-to-back champion. TR Leopard, dominant again. Williams driver wins round number 6 at Canada. Fantastic job from him. But this is the battle we're keeping an eye on. Hayden and Visualise. It looks like as if Hayden will do it. He does, just about by 4/10. Very close between them. Mega respect between the both. And hopefully that might be a sign of more battles to come between them. But it's Hayden second, Visualise. But Jigglypuff, meanwhile, is round the outside of Apex in towards turn 10. Maybe Apex knows about all the penalties and just not bothering as Lives. The Ferrari driver takes 12 points. That's a good result for him, as his teammate as well, who's a lap down, did come P7 in the end. So that's actually incredible stat. Only 2 teams with 2 cars in the points and 2 cars that finished. That's Williams and Ferrari. So, I mean, the Constructors Champions continue with their domination. Of course, Sauber with no points to their name today. But it is going to be Jigglypuff P5, but not according to this due to penalties. It'll be Apex P5, Jigglypuff P6, and that will be that.
Oh, I'm hearing that Reset's Revenge had the old barrier glitch at the Wall of Champions in that race, so that will no doubt have hindered him throughout the race. But yeah, Leopard in the end, on correction, actually won by 18 seconds, but it was actually not that. We did have a battle at the end there, which was quite exciting to watch.
Indeed, we did have a nice little bit of excitement moment. There he is, Williams driver, pretty much the same sight as what you usually see. It's Leopard on the top step, Hayden on the second, and lastly, but by no means least, Visualise on the third. And well, we'll get these guys in for podium questions. Whilst we do, I will ask you this question while I get these guys in. Welty, who was your driver of the day?
Ooh. Well, on one hand, you could say Jigglypuff for sticking it out and actually getting a result out of that. Also, notable drives. Lives made a jumped up quite a lot. So did Visualise. So I think I'll go for Visualise on the sheer amount of places he gained.
Okay, well, my one actually, I'm going to go with the person who's just actually jumped into the party and has his opinion about it. I'm going to go with I'm going to go with Hayden. I think the strategy that he did was rather actually probably the one that we suggested was probably the more smart option, going to the Ultra Softs after making the Super Soft last as long as they did. And it worked out for him in the end, and he got the podium in a fantastic day for the Force India. I'm sure that he is buzzing, and we'll shortly hear from him in a moment, as we have got all 3 of the podium question guys in. Make sure you have your ticks, guys. And Welty, it's entirely your decision. Who do you want to interview?
Well, I guess we may as well start with the first place driver, who are Leopard. What I want to know mainly is what happened towards the end of the second stint, or the middle stint there for you. because you came in the pit lane. I thought you were going to be well out in the lead, but however, you did actually have to battle Hayden for the win. Was that a miscalculation, or did you know that was going to happen when you came in?
I wasn't bothered about if he finished or came out ahead of me, because I knew he had penalties. And I knew I had none, so I just came in for. I just checked myself on the back straight, and I was like 15 seconds clear. I checked yours, I checked Liv's, Jiggly.
Well, I mean, if you'd have checked Ben's, you'd have been there for quite a while.
Yeah, I could have if I really wanted to.
Yes.
There was a lot there.
So yeah, I knew, and I just came for banter, really. Because I'm actually happy he got ahead of me so I could battle someone.
Yeah, I guess you were quite lonely, probably. The
Yeah, I should have failed jump so Visualize could get second. Less points for Force India. I've actually misjudged that. Oh well.
Yeah, you did nearly cost Hayden second place, but just got there in the end by 4 attempts. Hayden, talk us about the battle with Visualize, because there was great respect between you two, and it was really clean as well. So, yeah, talk to us about it. Talk to us about the battle with Visualize.
I know exactly what battle you're talking about. Yeah, credit to him. The thing was, he was on the inside, so I knew he was there, and I was on the outside, so I didn't really want to just cut him off because I know it's such a tight corner and going over the curves can really ruin your race. So I pretty much was going to back it out because I was just expecting him to just go through, and then he's also backed out as well. So we're going through the final chicane in like
after you.
We're just two gentlemen. We're just too friendly to each other. But that's how it should be. It should be a lesson to all. There's no point trying to go for it first lap, which I had the perfect seat for the first lap crash between Charlie, Jiggly.
I think it was Jiggly and Jolly, and then Charlie just got collected in it.
Yeah, I had the perfect view. Livs went way off to avoid the action as well, and I just stood along the line, and I went up from 6th to 3rd in no time. So
that's where Liv's got a penalty.
Possibly. I got a bit of help from Brad Drizzett's telling me how many penalties Visualize had, and he said he had 6 seconds. I was like, oh god, no, Leopard's ruined it for me, because when Leopard went in the pits, Jeff said, "Oh, you're P1 now." I was like, "What?" And then I've cut the corner as he's told me. So Jeff spooked me there.
Nearly works. Nearly.
I knew I could get 9 seconds on Visualize, but Leopard fighting and then the extra penalty, I just knew I was gonna lose second. So bit surprised, but I feel like that was the result I needed. And finally get some A's off my back as well, telling me get some points. More podiums to come, I'm sure.
Yeah, hopefully for you. Visualize.
Yes.
Talk us about your perspective of that battle with Hayden, particularly in the second stint, mainly, where Hayden was on the ultra soft tyres and you were on the softs. Big difference in the tyres and the grip and so on. So, talk us about how difficult that was to defend from.
So, I knew because of Leopard checked the penalties, so I knew we had 3 more seconds at the end. I knew it was coming. I was trying to defend for maybe more than 2 laps, but yeah, he came and there was nothing I could do. Leopard went then in the pits for ultra stuff, so I was hoping that the 2 of them could battle, and they did. And yeah, in the second last lap, yeah, I had my last penalty, and then I knew it was game over.
Yeah,
So yeah,
Yeah, not really what you sort of would have liked, but then again, P3 still one hell of a result, and 15 points.
yeah, I'm
towards
still
McLaren,
happy with it.
It was fantastically battle between you. Now I'll quickly come back towards our championship leader for a brief moment, and race winner, of course, of Canada, where he's pretty much race winner everywhere by this point. But Leopard, of course, now you extend the gap in front of the championship to even further ahead now, moving yourself ridiculously far ahead. My question for you actually is, obviously, Fred's not been in the last few races, and of course, for you guys sort of really showing up recently, like Jolly, of course, with Paul out today, even the two guys that are on the podium with you. Who would you say is sort of your championship rivals? You know, if you start to slip up, who are going to be the guys that you keep in your eye on in terms of results?
It's not you, Hayden, that's for sure.
Oh!
Oh!
Oh,
I'm joking.
Wow.
I think, maybe. I don't know. I don't know. Assuming everyone turns up, if they all turn up, I guess Fred, but we'll have to see.
Indeed we will. Now, I'll quickly move on to Hayden. Hayden, of course, you now jump up yourself into sort of back into sort of the championship after not really an alright state. You've sort of been a bit of a number 2 driver for Sydney, but now you jump ahead of your team. You shove that in his face. You can now say,
when he doesn't show up.
Yeah, but yeah, you sit now ahead of him in the championship. Think of the positives. What
I
are you
am.
sort of expecting in the championship? Like what position would be like your ideal? Of course, championship lead looks a little bit out of the window at the moment, but you never know.
I'm not really fighting for the championship against Leopard. I think Leopard's just got too much raw speed in him. First, I'm happy to continue my point streak in LCR. I don't think I've retired from a race ever, so that's good. So I think that's up to like 13 races now. My lucky number. I've just updated some of the standings, and I'm actually in P4, 2 points behind Livs, and quite a way back from Fred. So I wanna aim for P3 to get into the race of champions. That's my aim. So fingers crossed there. Yeah, I'm happy. I'm happy finding a good result for a change.
Indeed.
But
Now,
team championship's the aim, actually. Sorry.
yeah, no, of course.
To beat Williams.
I'm sure that'd be the aim. But at the same time as well, I'm sure alongside that, the aim would be to probably beat your teammate, given the fact I've seen a little bit of a rivalry between you two. So obviously, if MA's saying, "Come on, actually do something," and then you go and do this.
We're good friends off track, so yeah, we like a little bit of rivalry and banter between us. He needs to step up his game, the faff.
Well, let's just hope he doesn't do a bit of a. Let's hope we don't see an Ocon and Perez. Let's see. Let's hope we have a nice peaceful.
Oh, that'd be nice. Actually, that'd be nice.
But we will move.
I'd like the Williams to do that.
Yeah, I think I would as well. I think maybe a bit of competition throughout. Maybe instead of just the team of Williams just sort of starting to run away with it a little bit. Anyway, finally, he's been sitting there peacefully,
casually
visualised. I will ask you, of course, you now jump up yourself a little bit into the championship, of course, trying to make a name for yourself in LCR. So when it just recently started out, what are your aspirations, of course, coming in, sort of coming in late, and a chance to jump your way up, of course, with 15 points today. What do you hope for at come the end of the championship?
Try to score consistently points. And if I have a good day and I drive consistently, hopefully a podium, because if Leopard, Fredster and Matt are racing, you can only fight for P4, so No, just consistency. That will be nice, and scoring every race points. That's my objective.
That's a nice objective to keep. Nice and simple. I like it. Barcy, have you got any more questions for our free podium sitters?
Nope. No.
No? Alright, lovely. Well, let me just say congratulations to all three of you. Fantastic drives from a lot of you. Leopard and Hayden, thank you very much for that amazing battle we had near the end. Hayden and Visualize, thank you very much for the battle we had near the start. And thanks to everyone for a fantastic race. Welty, thank you very much for joining me in the combots, my friend. It's been an absolute pleasure to have you in here.
It's been good fun commentating as well. So hopefully I'll be back on track next week, but we'll see about that.
Indeed.
Nah, stick to comms. I prefer it.
I know you do, Hayden.
At least you're brutally honest, Hayden. At least you're honest.
Oh, I'm always honest. Definitely needs to go down.
But yeah, that will do us. So thank you very much for everyone who has tuned in to round number 6. Don't forget to check out the Forza Road to Le Mans series. Don't forget to check out all the previous races if you have missed out and want to see some more TOR Leopard domination and some EVR Predator showing up. Make sure you go tune in. But we'll do that. Thank you very much for watching, guys. We'll see you next time. Goodbye.